Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is episode it is episode 8. I always have to write it down or I will forget. It is episode 8 of Warring to Attitude. I am your host, Brent Piles, and you know if this is Warring to Attitude, that means that I did not come alone. He's the ballroom brawling, disco dancing, dynamite stretching, intercontinental playboy, folks. He's moreover than having a last man standings match with Damian Priest in Puerto Rico. GA Wrestle Night, Glenn Abbott. Glenn, how you doing?
It's Thursday, Raw Thursday, didn't you know?
It is Thursday, Raw Thursday. I forgot about
Although
that.
it's Monday.
It
It's
is
Monday.
Monday,
As they kept on telling us in the last episode, it's a Thursday.
Thursday, and then I thought it was weird, like the music that they had to start this thing too. It was like, and then it was Thursday, Raw Thursday, Thursday, Raw Thursday. Like, why did they deem that necessary to add the Thursday, Raw Thursday to that? And you've heard that if you're listening to this, because that is going to be the entrance song of this show this week is going to be the Thursday, Raw Thursday theme. So
excellent. Anyway, I'm doing well. Oh, what's happened?
Oh,
there you are.
I'm back.
It went blank for a second. I don't know why.
Glenn, you're doing well, even though Arsenal has dropped out of the top of the league and dropped to second place.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And the women are losing to Wolfsburg tonight in the Women's Champions League.
Tragic. You have Arsenal jersey on, don't you? That's why I brought it up.
I do.
What jersey is it? Who is it?
It was a training top from about 10 years ago or something that I just use as a kick around the house type when I'm doing my cleaning and stuff.
It looks like a comfortable shirt to kick around the house.
It is a comfortable shirt. That's why I wear it a lot.
Makes it. I mean, soccer. I don't have any soccer jerseys, but just like soccer jerseys in general look like they're cozy and they'd be nice to lounge around in. They look like soft, meshy.
They are.
Not like like an NBA jersey feels like fucking you're wearing carpet. It's the same thing with an NFL jersey too. Like I don't know how. Yeah. I guess the NFL players don't feel it against their body, but like I don't know how an NBA player runs up and down the court with that shit rubbing up and down on there. Sounds terrible.
Oh god, nipple burn. Oh,
a lot of them wear those form-fitting shirts underneath it. I guess so that they don't get the nipple burn. But I just
like man bra.
Yeah, something like that. So you don't get chafed nipples, which.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever heard, Glenn, but you can't win a marathon without putting a couple of Band-Aids on your nipples. Everybody knows that.
No, I've heard that. I was given that bit of advice.
Well, that's good. That's good advice to get.
That was only a half marathon as well, I did.
You ran a half marathon?
Yes. That's towing a blind man.
Oh, you did it with your friend that was blind. Oh, yeah, I remember you told me about that.
Yep. Yes, so it was quite fun, that.
I bet that was. Yeah, that does. How many miles is that?
It's 13 and a half, something like that.
No, thanks.
Because it's 26 point something miles to a marathon, so it was half marathon.
I used to run a couple of years ago, and I thought I was big and bad. So one day I ran 7 miles, Glenn. I ran it. I was cool. But the next day, my knees were so sore that I realized that about 1 to 2 miles is all the running that my knees have in them. So after 2 miles, I was done. It's been a long time since I ran 2 miles, but I used to do it back in my younger years before I turned 30.
The trouble with that is you think I'll run 7 miles. Then you find you're 7 miles from home and you've got to get back.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, that didn't happen.
You turn around at the 3.5 mile mark.
I didn't ran like a big. I was just running like a big circle back around.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
At least the one time I ran 7 miles, because as I said, it didn't last very long. The 7 miles only happened once before I realized that I don't have that kind of mileage in my knees. Well, Glenn, we're out here to talk about nipples, or maybe we will. Who knows where this is going to take us? We might talk about nipples. I'm not sure. We're actually here to discuss February 13th, 1997. It's Thursday, Raw Thursday, because as we talked about last week, they had to move it from Monday to Thursday because they had a dog show on Monday night. And we're not going to review the dog show. I'm sorry to anyone that thought we might, but we're not going to. Even though I would love to review a dog show because I love dogs.
I was gonna say, that'd be right up your street.
It would be. It absolutely would be. So we kick this thing off. It's in the Memorial Auditorium in Lowell, Massachusetts. The Lowell Auditorium opened in 1922. It is a 2,800 seat arena, so not a very big building. This arena has held many WWE and F house shows over the years. It even held an NXT house show back in 2019. It also has held a few Ring of Honor pay-per-views, including Global Wars 2008 and other few pay-per-views from 2016 to 2018. Ring of Honor used to run the show. So I like the ambiance of this building. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because there's the balcony or whatever, but I just thought I like the ambiance of it.
Yeah, because Chaotic ran a lot of shows out of there as well.
Makes
so
sense.
Online, I've seen a lot of that. That place in Lowell.
Yeah, I distinctly remember another episode of Monday Night Raw from like the end of 1997, where Shawn Michaels and Triple H, like, they that's the one where they rip the things off and it like shows their ass cheeks and they got something cupping up their balls or whatever. Yeah, so I think it was a Lowell. Which we'll review that show. Just hold on.
Yeah. The one to talk to on that, of course, is Mike Crockett. He could tell you which jobbers were from Chaotic were on each show, basically.
Yeah. I love that. I love that videos. The videos that he puts out. What's it? It's the podcast about nothing, right?
Yeah.
The wrestling podcast about nothing.
Wrestling podcast about nothing.
Yeah, give them a follow. I like those little videos that he does. Very entertaining, especially the last one because they talked about a lot of jobbers. And Glenn, as you know, jobbers are a piece of my heart.
I think that was one that I think that's one that he actually reviewed from. I think it was from Lowell or somewhere in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
That had a load of Killer Kowalski jobbers on.
Right. Which, I mean, Triple H was trained by Killer Kowalski, was he? But anyway, that's another. So, Glenn, we opened the show with a very somber video as we find out that Shawn Michaels will not be taking on Psycho Sid the WWF title tonight, as he will be forfeiting the WWF title, and thus the winner of the Final Four main event at the pay-per-view on Sunday will be the new champion. And then I got a note in here about it. We already talked about the weird Raw Thursday music. Glenn, you said that it was around this time. Did you know that this was going to be the episode of Raw where he forfeited the title, or did I spoil that for you? Because I know I said
no. I knew it was around this time, and I know what happened in your house. So I guess this must be where he came up with the lost his smile promo.
Yeah.
Although I'd never seen this episode before.
So a very momentous Monday Night Raw of sorts, or I'm sorry, Thursday Raw Thursday. I mean, I think it's the only Thursday Raw Thursday in history of Raw. So there's that. Show kicks off with an Intercontinental Championship match. Glenn, is Hunter Hearst Helmsley taking on young Rocky Maivia. He's got a strange fucking haircut. They showed JR. I'm sorry.
It wasn't only a strange haircut. He was very shiny. It's lucky Andre wasn't around.
No.
Yes, he was well polished up there, young Rocky.
He looked like the Macho Man Randy Savage out there, except for less tan.
Yeah.
Because as you know, The Rock doesn't need to tan because he's, naturally tan because he's a lucky son of a bitch. So this was funny. They showed Vince, JR, and the King, and there was a kid behind them, and he was holding a sign that said "Owen Hart is the Queen of Farts," and I thought that was funny.
I loved it. The cameraman was trying to hold it on the faces of them to stop it from it kept on popping up.
Yeah, everywhere he went, that kid was on it. I just thought that was so funny. Owen Hart is the Queen of Farts, it said, which I thought was great. What did you think about this?
This was all right. It wasn't a bad match. Vince actually recognized a headlock,
which is a miracle in itself.
So yeah, that was a note that I made. It was also probably the first time that the cerebral assassin was called Cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
because it was this. I think it was the King that said he was the cerebral champ under Hearst Helmsley.
Yep. Which is some interesting foreshadowing because he'll, as you said, be the cerebral assassin later on. Did you hear a little bit of Rocky's sucks chants going throughout the crowd at the beginning of the match? I thought I did hear it, but then again, I might be crazy. Did you hear him?
No, I didn't. But
okay, well, if you're
out there, listen. Yeah, may well be. He doesn't deserve it at this time. He does some lovely drop kicks as well.
He does have some pretty.
That gets up high and slams them in there. And he learned very quickly that you don't clothesline ring posts, so they don't sell for you.
I never understood why wrestlers do that. Why do you press somebody up against the ring post and then run at them? That just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, especially taking a few steps back, give them time to get out of the way.
Right. If you're going to do that, at least rear back and hit him with the clothesline, run away. Don't wait. Yeah. I had that in mind.
Or just bash him into the ring post.
Right. I mean, that always works. That always works out. You don't ever get disqualified for that. I've never seen anyone get disqualified for bashing their opponent into the ring post. So there's that.
And we got a foreshadowing of what comes next because Hunter is definitely on top with some very Walter-esque stiff chops.
Yes. Definitely.
But then he gets Rocky down and hardly bothers to cover him.
Yeah, I think that maybe just plays along with his character that being an arrogant snob that he just doesn't think he doesn't have to do that. The Honky Tonk Man also made his way out to the ring to join the announced team. He says neither one of these guys is what he's looking for. So I don't know what the Honky Tonk Man's looking for, but I guess 2 future multi-time world champions wasn't it.
No. And, it's strange that one is now basically running WWE. The other one is a global film megastar. What's happened to Honky?
Right. He's gotten gray and gotten somehow handsomer, though. That's for sure. If you've seen him lately.
No, I haven't actually.
There were pictures going around of him, I think, in 2020, and we were like, God damn, he looks like fucking Santa Claus. He wasn't like as fat as Santa Claus, but with the facial hair.
Like
old Saint Nick. I thought the crowd, like, there were moments, there were people not on the hard cam side that were kind of cheering for Rocky, but most people on the hard cam side looked like they were cheering for Triple H, and he was kind of like milking it because he was doing extra. And like, I know he's supposed to be a bad guy, but you could totally tell that he was eating up that the crowd was liking what he was doing. But there was like some cheering for Rocky. You just couldn't see it on the hard cam because you could hear him, you just couldn't see it really.
That's right. Yeah, in the cheap seats.
yeah, exactly. Where the little kids were the fathers who have 3 kids and can't afford the closer seats sit. That's what was happening.
There was a lovely suplex as well from Triple H from the top rope, the top of the turnbuckle.
Triple H hit a flurry of big moves on The Rock. So The Rock hit like a splash off the top rope, but Triple H did a roll through for a near fall. Triple H hit a neck breaker and a pile driver, both for near falls. And then he hit the superplex, which also brought a near fall. But yeah, like a lot of big high impact moves over and over from Hunter.
But then he gets too cocky.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He got too cocky as he's trying to go for the old pedigree. He's trying to get The Rock up. He can't. And finally, one time he goes to try to pick The Rock up. The Rock rolls him up into a inside cradle for the win. And The Rock is the new Intercontinental champion. And then he cut a little promo after the match. And I think we need to hear it, Glenn.
Yeah.
Intercontinental champion. How does it feel? I can't believe it. I can't believe this happened. One of the best Intercontinental champions. But I guarantee you and all the people, I'm going to give the best that I can give. Always. Rocky, I gotta admit, I thought you were out of that match. Your resiliency was amazing. Your parents have to be proud. Congratulations, Rocky. Dad, grandfather, my whole family, thank you. And I'll make you and all my fans proud. All right.
Well, that was one of the fucking corniest things I've ever heard. How about you?
This was all too soon. Ultimately, No, we'll talk about it towards the end. This is a pivotal moment in the Attitude Era. But he was getting, because of the family connection and everything, it seems like he was getting the same sort of heat that Roman got when he first got pushed.
Mm-hmm.
Which in the long term didn't do him bad things. He went away, reinvented himself, and look what happened. So
yeah, definitely. Because, like you said, too much too soon. So I think this is when the fans kind of fully turn on him. Because, like, oh, this guy just got here and now he's the Intercontinental Champion. Oh, come on. We don't.
Yeah, it's not what it's not what he is. It's who he is, and it's that family connection.
Right. I just thought the whole I'm gonna do what I can do always. I just thought this super corny. It's really corny stuff. They then show a promo video for what we will be reviewing next week on episode 9, and that's In Your House Final 4. The main event between Austin, Bret Hart, and the Undertaker and Vader will be for the WWF Championship now. So that will be very interesting. Yes. And then we get back to the arena, and a certain someone, Glenn, makes their way out to the ring. Do you want to say this person's name? I don't want to.
It's the 8th of the 7th. Well, it's Sleazy. No, it's Sunny.
I'm glad I passed that to you. You did way better than I ever could have. Yeah, she makes her way down to the ring. The people really enjoyed, and of course, the King made some sort of, sexist joke. I can't remember what it was offhand, but he definitely made one. And she's here to ring announce.
Yes, so she announces Aldo Montoya and Bob Holly, that well-known tag team.
And I think she said something about Aldo Montoya. Aldo Montoya has the sexiest Portuguese man accent she's ever heard, I think. And I've heard PJ talk, and I've heard Justin Incredible talk, and he doesn't really sound really
Portuguese.
Have an accent.
No.
I think he is Portuguese, but he doesn't sound Portuguese.
No. Yeah. And they're up against, we actually have a tag team that is the Bret Hart and the Bulldog.
Yeah.
Or Furnace and the Fawn. It is the Headbangers.
I want to. This is the first time we've seen the Headbangers, right?
It is. Well, we've not seen it. With the only tag teams we've seen in 8 episodes are Bret and the Bulldog and Owen and Furnace and LaFon.
And the Godwins. We saw the Godwins once too.
That's true. Yes.
And the Godwins. But yeah, so I think we talked about the Headbangers on the first episode because we talked about the first episode of Shotgun Saturday Night, and I think they had a match that night, and they were like the Flying Nuns or some shit like that. And we talked about that.
Yeah. For all of one night.
Yeah, it was just one night. Yeah, so I guess they changed their gimmick. They went from the Flying Nuns to the Headbangers instead. But yeah, Bob Holly and Aldo Montoya are sure an interesting tag team. How did this NASCAR driver and this Portuguese man of war become best friends?
I don't know. And the commentary team obviously didn't bother about it either, because they talked about anything but this match. They were going on about HBK and everything else apart from talking about the match. I don't think there was a move called during the whole match.
Yeah, both of these matches, they were very, even the Triple H Rocky match, they were heavy just talking about Shawn Michaels. They were just basically Vince is licking Shawn Michaels' asshole as we're watching these matches is what's happening. Because that's what they were. They also let us know that HBK may have to have knee surgery. He may have to retire. I also see a guy in the action figure and in the audience. He's selling action figures out of a box, and I really wanted one of those action figures. I was just like, "Which one is it? What is he selling?" I wasn't even watching the match. I want to know what figure. What do you think about this match? I thought the Headbangers were super innovative in this.
Yeah, they're a good. I've always liked the Headbangers as a tag team. Nothing wrong with it at all, except the fact that nobody give a shit.
Yeah, no. And they didn't try to help you on commentary, give a shit about it either.
I can't understand why they had it, to be honest. This could have easily been another 45-minute Raw instead of an hour and 20 minutes because there was no need for that match at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only thing they were trying to do is get the headbangers on TV, but they really didn't do a whole lot to get them over. I mean, they didn't even talk about them.
No.
I wasn't even sure what. I mean, I already know what their names are, but like, if this was my first time watching it, I wouldn't have fucking remembered. I'd be like, oh, those are just those guys who kept spitting in the air and catching it in their mouths because that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, and wearing skirts.
And wearing skirts, yes. But they did like a really cool, interesting, like a suplex drop off the top rope. I can't really even explain what they did. He was like, I don't know. I can't even begin to explain this. But I'm not going to try to. But yeah, some interesting stuff that I don't think I'd really seen is in 1997 as far as tag team wrestling goes. So some innovative stuff. They hit like this power bomb leg drop combination from the top rope for the win. Yeah, just like Glenn said, not a whole lot here. Unless you like to watch guys fucking spitting everywhere and catching it in their mouths, then this is the match for you.
And then we get Gorilla and Vince in the ring.
There's one interesting thing though, Glenn, that I saw in here that I have to bring up. They were kind of like running down the USA Saturday night lineup for what they show on Saturday night back then, and they showed something called Duckman, and JR was a big fan of Duckman, they said. And so I had to look up, Glenn, and find out some more information on this very strange TV show, Duckman.
Please enlighten me.
I like to take a few edibles and make myself feel good. And even this show is too weird for even me. The full name of the show is called Duckman, Private Dick / Family Man. I'm not sure what that means exactly. And it ran from 1994 until 1997 on USA. And I will say you can find all of the episodes on YouTube. And if you're into really fucking weird shit, then go ahead and give this a whirl, because I watched about 5 minutes of this and I was going, what the fuck's going on?
I might actually look that up.
You should. You're going to you'll be more confused than the mayor told us he was starting his own tap dancing podcast. You'll be more confused than that.
And if you haven't heard that yet, go back and listen to Mayor of Superstars from this week. That was amazing.
Some things were said on that show. That's for goddamn sure. We'll teach you what a Samoan safe word is, how Brother Crush feels about clowns, and what would the name of the tag team of Crush and Lex Luger be. So if you want to find out the answers to all those questions, check out the newest Mayor of Superstars. Like Glenn said, the next thing we get is Vince and Monsoon are in the ring, and they're going to have Shawn Michaels come out here and give out the belt. The weirdest thing about this is we're about to have this somber occasion where the career of Shawn Michaels might be over and he has to forfeit the championship, but Vince McMahon still goes, the most flamboyant, the most charismatic, it's Shawn Michaels. Like, read the room, Vince.
And he limped to the ring.
He did,
which is great because which is great. Good selling on the part of Shawn, but it didn't go with his entrance at all.
No, you expected him to come skipping out there, but he comes out there looking like he's about to die, and it's like, I don't think that was the time to do that, Vince. I don't think that was it. Glenn, what did you think about all this? What did you think about this promo? You said it's the first time you've ever seen it.
Excellent. He fumbled around a bit, which is great because you're emotional. It gave it a bit more. It didn't sound like he was reading off a card or anything.
Right.
The big thing I took from this, though, it's a great promo and everything else, but I have a feeling that Shawn Michaels had real heat with Gorilla Monsoon. He didn't seem to like Gorilla Monsoon whatsoever. And that wasn't just in kayfabe.
Right. Well, I could totally see like the way Shawn Michaels carries himself. I could see that not coinciding with where Gorilla thinks the business should be. So I imagine that they probably did not get along. I imagine that they probably from everything I've heard about Shawn, that sounds about right. In that era.
As Vince shakes his hand, gives him a hug, and he he turns and then remembers that Gorilla's there and sort of, okay.
Yeah.
So
Here's
he
your
waves
belt.
his hand at him and walks off.
Yeah.
It's your belt, yeah.
Yeah, they show some people in the crowd. Some fans in the crowd had tears in their eyes. Michaels does a whole lap around, slapping hands, and Vince just stares sadly in the ring as he walks around.
They definitely concentrated a lot on that woman that was dressed in the Shawn Michaels leather outfit.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
And she was
just
in
upset
floods
that
of
she paid all
tears.
this money and won't get to see him wrestle Sid, is what she was crying for.
Yeah.
And I've told you that I was reading Bret Hart's book, and I kind of wanted to throw a little thing in here that Bret Hart said in his book. He said, "Okay, on February 13th in Lowell, Massachusetts, the big news was that Shawn was forfeiting the world belt because he suddenly sustained a career-ending knee injury and needed surgery. Taker looked at me with all bullshit and said, 'I'll believe it when I see the scar. That little fucker just don't want to drop the belt.'" So what do you think, Glenn?
Congratulations, Mr. Mark Calloway. You have got it spot on.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's because you could hear the Undertaker saying that. Like, that little fucker just don't want to drop the belt. Exactly what he would say. The next match we got was the newest member of the Nation of Domination, Mr. Savio Vega, and he's got to take on the aforementioned The Undertaker.
I got a note on this. Because there was all that drama and everything, and then suddenly the Nation, and I put, a flash mob. Oh no, it's the Nation of Domination. There's so many of them.
They're really, and then like this place doesn't have like a long entranceway either, so like they took up the whole fucking thing because there's just like 12 guys in the Nation of Domination.
Ahmed Johnson's already taken out about 10 of them, and there's still like 12 of them left. How many of them they got?
They're like Bebe's kids. They don't die, they multiply. The Nation of Domination, like Bebe's kids. The Undertaker wasted no time giving Savio Vega some Fists of Fury. I think they tried to distract him, and like Savio tried to attack him before the bell rang, but it didn't work out. They also needed to really change Savio Vega's ring gear before this heel turn because it looks very strange.
Yeah, it does.
He's got too many colors on for me to not like him. What do you mean? How am I supposed to not like this colorful motherfucker? I don't understand. Vega tries to flee the ring. Taker grabs him, grabs him by the back of the neck, and pulls Vega back into the ring. And then Vega hits a low blow without the ref seeing. He hits like three spinning heel kicks before he can even get Taker off of his feet.
That's right. And then that motherfucker sits up.
Yep, as he does, as one does. Also, there was some choking going on, nail style. Nails would have been very proud of what was going on in this match.
And we got a lovely comment from Vince again. He said, Savio coming into his own since joining the Nation of Domination. It's been a week, Vince.
Talk about putting the cart before the horse. He's come a long way in these many, many days.
It's all a week.
We haven't even time to get him new wrestling gear. What do you mean?
He's come a long way.
He's still, the dancing Caribbean guy with what he's got on. Of course he hasn't come a long way. What do you mean?
He's come into his own.
The finish comes when Vega tries to hit Taker with a back body drop, but Taker counters with a leg drop, and then Taker hits a choke slam for the win. After the match, the Nation of Domination attacks the Undertaker, but then Ahmed Johnson comes out to make the save, which he doesn't really make a save because they beat the shit out of him until the Undertaker sits up and closes the ring.
I can't understand it. Why in a prestigious venue like that in Lowell, Massachusetts, hasn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan left a lump of 2x4 around? If ever you want to come to a ring with a lump of 2x4, it was then.
Yeah, that was the best time to have a weapon was at that point.
Yeah. And the other thing is the old timekeeper or whoever's ringing the bell. I love it when there's a big brawl and all they do is ring the bell as though that's going to make any difference. They're going to suddenly, the bell's rung. We'll stop this now then, shall we, lads?
All right, guys. He rang it 7 times, so he means it now. So let's all just calm down, okay? That's something they used to always do back in the day that they don't do now. They don't like. Could you imagine while the Bloodline's beating down Kevin Owens after the Royal Rumble main event? They're just ringing the bell the whole time. Oh god! Like as if wrestlers have something triggered in their brain where if a bell rings, they just go. Oh, well.
Yep, that's it. Go.
Like the opposite that Festus used to do. They ring the bell and Festus would go. Ah! They ring the bell and everyone stops.
Everyone stops. Yeah. No, it doesn't have any effects at all. Anyway.
Yeah. The next match was Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Psycho Sid. This is something that's becoming more common as we go along with these, which is heel versus heel matches. We're going to see another one later on where it's heel versus heel. And I didn't realize you could say that Austin's not fully a heel because there are a lot of people cheering for him, but he is supposed to be a heel and he's presented as a heel. And he does heel his shit. So
yeah. Basically, this is just to get them all on TV before in your house, really, isn't it?
Yeah. They also, before the match, I forgot about this. They did an interview with Gorilla Monsoon where he's supposed to explain why he decided to put the belt on the line in this Final Four match, which is a pretty stupid fucking question to me. I mean, you got the 4 guys who are supposed to fight to see who's going to face the champion. So obviously, if they win, they're going to be the champion. I don't think that needed more explaining to anyone at home. He also lets us know that Sid will be facing the winner of the Final Four match on Raw for the title next Monday. Which seems a little bit unfair to the champion, but whatever.
Yeah. You're going to fight on the Sunday night and then have another take on Sid on the Monday.
Right. After you had to beat 3 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Austin attacks Sid from behind to start the match because that's what Austin does. The funny thing in this was like at the beginning, Sid almost hits a chokeslam, and then Austin kicks him right in the nuts in front of the ref, who does nothing about it. He didn't say a word.
No. Well, would you?
No, I probably wouldn't, but I'm also not a referee. I literally rewound it. I was like, was this a no DQ match? And nobody told me, so I rewound it to see. I was like, nope, they just didn't care.
They just don't care.
Yeah. A lot of brawling. They brawl to the outside. Austin threw Sid into the ring post. Austin does the classic heel tactic of putting in the abdominal stretch and then grabbing the rope to help him with the leverage, you know. And the match comes with Bret Hart just shows up and just starts beating Austin up. But Austin, he gets a couple hits in on Austin, but Austin's smart enough to get the fuck out of there as fast as he can.
Yeah.
He just dropped him.
Yeah. So then he starts brawling with Sid.
Yeah.
Because Austin isn't there to hit.
If I'm Sid, I wouldn't be happy because you just cost me this match, you asshole.
That's right.
We also got a Gerald Briscoe sighting as he was out there trying to help the 2 men wrestle it away from each other. So, and our drinking game for this evening is you're gonna have to go ahead and take a drink every time that they remind us that Shawn Michaels had to forfeit the WWF Championship tonight, or just the word of Shawn Michaels, and you will be in a coma. Absolutely. So, Sid wins by DQ. I mean, Austin wins by DQ. I'm sorry.
Austin wins by DQ. Yeah. Because Hart obviously sided with Sid.
Yeah, they were clearly best friends.
Yeah.
And then we got a promo from Vader, and this had some good Psycho Sid comedy moments. So let's play.
It certainly did.
Vader, can you hear us? Yeah, I hear you. This coming Sunday, Final Four matchup. What about it? Well, Mr. McMahon, let me ask you one question. How many wrestlers in the WWF can say in the last 6 weeks that not only taking the Undertaker on in front of 60,000 fans and put him on his back, 1, 2, 3, but on 2 separate occasions whipped Stone Cold Steve Austin's butt on 2 separate occasions. Yeah. Bret the Hitman Hart on Monday Night Raw right here. Now, do you answer that question? Well, I'll answer it. You, Vader, you're the man. Who's the man? You are. What time is it? Vader time. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The only part of that. Good.
My note was that was some promo. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, that was really something. It was like it was a couple times where he looked like he got lost in the middle of it. He was like, and then 3 times. Yeah, the only part of that they should have left was when he said, "What time is it?" They should have just had him say, "What time is it? Mater time. What time is it? Mater time." And that should have been it. They shouldn't have said nothing else.
That's it. Yeah. Little is more with him and Sid. Little is more. You look medicine. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to cut promos.
All right, stop talking. And then we come back and they like show,
especially when you've got Paul Bearer there with you. You've got a mouthpiece. Let the mouthpiece do the work.
Let him talk. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Vader can just stand around and look menacing. That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then they do like a weird, I guess, was it Western Union spot?
Western Union plug. Yeah. I put it down as a ham-fisted Western Union plug by the King.
Yeah. He's sending his mother money for Valentine's Day so she can buy him a present on Valentine's Day. First of all, what kind of grown-ass man gets a present from his mother on Valentine's Day? Come on. Get the fuck out of here. And then we get a recap of how Shawn Michaels lost his smile, and Vince said something like, "It's been a great loss to the WWF." I think he means Shawn Michaels and not just Shawn Michaels' smile. I think he means Shawn as a whole. Yeah. And not, I thought anyway. I might be wrong, but Vince might just be really into his smile. So I don't know. I'm not sure. We could ask him. Anyway, next match. This is the heel versus heel that I was talking about.
This is the Bulldog and Owen against Furnace and Lafon again, except it's with Crush and Farouk this time.
Yeah, I wrote down Jesus it feels like the Nation of Domination is in every segment, and why the fuck are they owned off Bulldog and Owen for the titles anyway? Or Furnace and Lafon sick?
Have Crush, if you want Crush and Farouk on there, put them up there. Fighting against bloody Sparky Plug and have the Headbangers compete for the title. At least it's a tag team that people might actually think they stand a chance, even though they won't.
Right.
And you're not doing them anymore. With the finish being, and anybody that's watched this last week, this is not a spoiler that we get the same finish as we got last week. So they're protecting whoever's in the ring, which you don't need to be protecting Crush and Farouk as a tag team.
Right. It would have been just much easier for you to put them out there and have them squash Aldo Montoya and Bob Holly. That would have been a much easier scenario. And you're getting them over as heels. That would have been the best way to do it. You're right.
That would have been, and then have the Headbangers against Bulldog and Owen. Same finish. Protects the Headbangers, and it also gives them an argument down the line to have a proper go at the title because they never lost.
Right.
They won the match.
And you've already inserted a brand new tag team into the tag team championship picture, just like that.
Exactly. But there again, we got Crush and Farouk against the Bulldog and Owens.
Which Crush did some impressive power moves at the beginning. He did like a real impressive press slam that he did on Hart. But I also think like Owen is really good at making himself lighter and easier to pick up if he wants to. I don't know if you've ever heard the old story about how when Bulldog and Lex Luger were tag teamed, and like Bulldog would get in and Owen would go up so easy for him, but then Lex would get in and like Owen would like hook his arm.
Sandbag. Sandbag him.
Get him up. And he would flex his muscles and go, "Yeah, Lex, I'm the strong man of the team."
I love
that one of the reasons why his power moves look so great.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not a lot to be said about this. As I said, it was the same finish as last week. Owen Garrett's outside the ring, tweaks his knee again. At least this week he didn't he didn't let everybody know that he hadn't tweaked his knee like last week. He didn't go dancing down the ring. He got the referee and Davey to help him back to to the locker.
Davey got his ass whooped by the Nation of Domination.
Yeah.
But he really played up that knee injury. I mean, if my knee's hurt, I can't get in there and help you save you get your ass whooped, right? So I guess it makes sense.
That's it.
Which, I mean, they kind of had words, but we've seen Owen and Bulldog have more words than what they did have here. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah. It wasn't.
They also showed that little Bret Hart promo, which was right in the middle of this match, which is more a way to hey, we don't give a fuck about this match. We're going to wedge a promo right in the middle of it. Right. Which Bret took the high road. He didn't really say anything bad about Shawn Michaels. He just said that he thinks he'd be back, which he doesn't say the same things in his book. But hey, what are you going to do? I don't think anybody backstage believed that Shawn Michaels was actually hurt. So
no.
Bret. The main event of this show was the aforementioned Bret Hart taking on Vader.
This, as I've put it down, the battle of the charismatic promos.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So at the beginning of this match, though, the Undertaker makes an appearance and he cuts a little promo. He's also got Doc Hendricks held hostage while he's doing it. But let's listen to this. Another good promo from the Undertaker.
I hate to interrupt, but there seems to be a problem with respect. The Undertaker, he don't seem to get it anymore. Well, gentlemen, let me forewarn you now. In 4 days' time in Nashville, Tennessee, you will have to look into the eyes of the Reaper, along with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And each of you know you can't beat me. So what you have to deal with, Hitman, and what you have to deal with, Vader, is the time is at hand. And you three will rest in peace.
This is great work. Another great promo. It was shocking too because it's they're just about to get their match going, and then the lights go out, and you're like, "What the hell?" And there comes the Undertaker. I really love that. I thought it was cool.
He definitely upped his promo game after he lost Paul Bearer, didn't he?
He definitely has, yeah. Because I mean, he never used to. He would say a little bit here or there, a couple of sentences, but we heard a good promo from him a couple weeks ago, and this is a really good promo too. And even kind of his back and forth with Ahmed Johnson with it. If you go out now, you'll go alone. Was really good too. Really like what we're seeing from the Undertaker here. Austin comes out and attacks Bret Hart. Before we go out to a commercial break, he kind of beats him up on the outside. I guess the match hadn't started yet because there wasn't enough for a DQ. Because when we come back,
they're in the ring.
Going. Yeah. So yeah, Bret Hart counters. Bret Hart did a big power slam as Vader was coming off the top rope. He countered it into a power slam, which was pretty cool.
I love the way. There must have been something between Vader and Bret on the good side, because you could always tell when Vader is actually potatoing somebody, and he wasn't with Bret. He was sort of hitting him with his forearms rather than potatoing him.
Right. Better than give him the full-fledged punch right in the face.
No.
He also, I feel like he was doing things as match he doesn't normally do. Bret body slammed him, and Bret didn't struggle body slamming him either. He made it look like it was nothing. I don't think Vader's gonna let a lot of guys body slam him like that.
He was definitely helped him there.
Yeah, because Vader don't want to go up for a body slam. I'm not sure there's a lot of people who are gonna pick him up. There might be a couple, but there ain't many. Austin shows up in the crowd. He's in the balcony during this match, which is awesome. He's pretending like he's going to climb down the balcony and get at Bret Hart. He's yelling, and it was just really, really cool. Which helped Vader get the upper hand, of course, when he's looking at Austin. But then Vader's going to do a Vader bomb, and then Austin kind of hypes Vader up to go up to the top for the moonsault. He does the moonsault, misses, which is enough for Bret to get the 3 count, which I was a little bit shocked by. I didn't think that was going to get the job done, but it did. What do you think about this match?
Again, it's building to it's been like this whole show. It's building to in your house. There's nothing special about any of it, but it's good storytelling. It's a good go home show.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes that this was 1,000 times better than the Go Home Show for the Royal Rumble, because the Go Home Show for the Royal
Yeah,
Rumble is probably
was.
the worst episode of Raw that we've watched since we started
Yeah,
the show.
it certainly was. Yeah,
Because it's been nothing but up and up and up since then. Because I
Hmm.
mean, we've watched what 3 or 4 weeks in a row when it's been really good.
Yeah. So they had to plateau this week because it's all coming to a point or to a head that following weekend. So
right.
That's the good thing about Raw at this point, is that that'll all come to a head on the pay-per-view on Sunday, and then we'll get a whole new reset on Monday.
Right. It'll be like a whole new set of things. Yep, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, join us next week. We are going to review In Your House 13 Final Four. We will have a look at Leif Cassidy versus Mark Merrow, and I cannot fucking believe that that's a goddamn pay-per-view match. I read that and went, what?
Talk about filler.
Yeah.
That's filler time.
Talk about filler. Speaking of filler, we've got the Nation of Domination. I'm sorry, go ahead.
This is what I was saying about the roster at this time. It is very weak ass because, if they have to have Mark Merrow and Leif Cassidy on a pay-per-view, and we've not seen either of them since Raw started.
We saw Mark,
apart from the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Right. And like Leif Cassidy, Al Snow is in a tag team with Marty Jannetty. Like, if you were gonna do that, why wouldn't you have him face Marty Jannetty? At least people really know who Marty is. And like, I'm not saying anything bad about Al Snow or Leif Cassidy. He's whatever. But nobody knew who he was at that time. Nobody gave a fuck about the new Rockers. Come on.
No.
And then speaking of more filler, we've got the Nation of Domination. Glenn, do you think they're facing anybody? Do you think they're facing anybody that has to do with Ahmed Johnson?
Probably, yeah.
No, of course not, Glenn. They're taking on Bart Gunn, Flash Funk, and Goldust in a 6-man tag team match. Ahmed Johnson is not in this.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm looking at the card going, the Nation of Domination versus Ahmed Johnson and who? And then I'm like, oh, Ahmed Johnson's not in this fucking match.
So is it the two rappers and the big guy that's
Nope, it's Savio, Farouk, and Crush against Bart Gunn, Flash, fucking Goldust, which is very strange.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley will get his rematch with Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental Championship as well. And we will also get to see another Glenn. Doug Ferguson, Phil LaFon battling Owen Hart and the British Bulldog for the tag team titles. We'll see that one again.
Thank God.
It's been so long since we've seen it, Glenn. It's been a whole And of course, the main event of Bret Hart versus Steve Austin versus Vader versus the Undertaker in an elimination match. So the rules of this is you can be eliminated by pinfall, submission, or being thrown over the top rope. I'm really looking forward to reviewing this match because I know it's a really fucking fun match. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be back with you next week. Also, be on the lookout for our new show, A Cup of UK Heritage, which will be out on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. Next week. Next Wednesday will be the day, right, Glenn?
Yeah, not this week, next week.
That's right. So this show comes out on Tuesday, so you'll be able to see us on Tuesday, and then you'll be able to see us on Wednesday. What a glorious week for you.
Yes. Oh dear. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it was a good thing I read about this. Thursday, Raw Thursday, is how it was the sort of the bedrock that started creating Stone Cold and Rocky as the stars, as setting the tone for the Attitude Era.
I mean, yeah, you can see it because they're really positioning it. Because right now, it's putting the Rock on the trajectory to where he's going to become that mega heel that Austin needed at that point. And so that's why, And when the Rock starts doing his heel shit, he becomes so funny and so cool that even when he was with the Nation, you had to like him because he was so goddamn funny.
That's right.
And we'll get into that as we further go into the year of 1997. But anyway, Glenn, do you got anything we need to plug before we get out of here?
Just give us a follow on Twitter. It'd be nice to have some wrestling fans actually follow me rather than the usual bimbos. Actually, yeah, Russell, not as it says on here. Anything else? DDT Wrestling. They're talking about giving up the wrestling side of it and just being DDT.
They might as well.
They might as well. So, Bang Bang Podcast. Andy's back with various guests doing lots of shenanigans. I'm booking the territory. Give those guys a follow and a listen. We've already plugged Mike Crockett. And if you haven't yet, check out, if you are fans of Doctor Who, the Doctor Who podcast, which is another great listen.
So I know that the UTC, the Unbooking the Tankatory, they are reviewing when they did when Tank Abbott managed 3 count in the gold record ladder match. And so that's really, really fucking fun. So if you don't listen to that, you should. I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you like this, you'll love that. So yeah, check that out. And as always, of course, give our buddy and our other co-host, the Mayor of Canton, a follow on Twitter at Mayor of Canton, and make sure you check out A Meal with the Mayor every Wednesday. He doesn't really do a tap dancing podcast. I'm very sorry for anyone that thought that was real, but it isn't. And of course, check out
that's believing it.
Yep. I'm gonna put out a video, like a short clip video of that, and you'll see the look on my face when he says that is like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? So yeah, that's great. But yeah, make sure you check out Sports Wire Radio. Give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow at Thomas Bryce 2017. Woo! And don't forget this week we're gonna have our Backlash predictions too. We're not gonna be redoing our usual Friday night recording. We're gonna do a Saturday morning recording. Glenn won't have to stay up till 4 a.m.
Yay!
All right. So be on the lookout for those. I'll put those out right after we get done recording the show. So on Saturday, you'll be able to hear what our fucking Backlash picks are if you need to fucking hear them. I'm the champ, by the way. I forgot. Champ.
You are the champ. You are the champ.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it. Now there's only one left for us to do, and that's for Glenn to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thursday, Raw, Thursday. Thursday, Raw, Thursday. Thursday, Raw, Thursday. Thursday, Raw, Thursday.